Hi there, Witch Doctor Aspen here. Welcome to the healing room, the private studio, healing studio space in my home in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Behind me is my altar and my workspace, and I'm so happy that you're here with me. Not only is this a video about smudging, but this is also the start, the first video in a series called Witchcraft Wednesday, where every Wednesday I'm going to be releasing another video having something to do with the craft. Witchcraft in general, anything having to do with witchcraft at all. So if you've ever had any questions or you want to know something more, then you have come to the right place. I've been a hermetic witch my whole life, and so I am thrilled to share some of that knowledge with you. Okay, let's get started on smudging. Smudging is not just walking around the room waving sage and ooh, the woo, okay? Smudging is the art of burning herbs, resins, barks, and essential oils to manipulate the subtle energy of the space. The world and everything in it is made up of energy, and everything has a vibration. Everything has an energy, and so is also susceptible to experiencing the energy of other things. Interacting and reacting with another's energy, this catch and release, we're all doing it all day, all the time, every freaking thing. There are lots of living and non-living things that are very good at picking up or moving energy, and humans happen to be one of those living things that is good at picking up vibrations or vibes. That is why smudging was used by literally every ancient culture from the dawn of time. It was to manipulate and move energy, and it was not just to make the room smell nice. So, there always was a reason for this, and the biggest reason for the ancient people was to create a space in ritual and ceremony. They were doing something. They were moving energy to protect it, to cleanse it, all of that. So, and if you want to know more about this, of course, this whole thing, blog post, is an entire blog post about it on my website, all about what is smudging, give you some really good details, and of course, charts on what herbs to use, what resins, and of course links on where to buy absolutely everything that I mentioned today in my blog post and on this video on my website. Yay! WitchDoctorAspen.com if you didn't know. Okay. So, smudging, cleansing yourself. Today I'm going to use Palo Santo. Palo Santo is my absolute favorite. It's my favorite because it's my favorite smell. It just resonates with me the most. Palo Santo stands for holy bark or holy wood, and it's a tree from South America. It's the only tree that really has this beautiful sage, not sage smell, mint and cedar smell, sage alternative. This stuff is called holy bark. I swear to you, it is energetic bleach. It is heaven on earth. This is what heaven smells like. It's wonderful, and I always say that if you don't like the smell of Palo Santo, you're not human. So that's my little thing. That we're going to use Palo Santo. I'm going to use Palo Santo today, but you can use any resin, incense, bark, sage, essential oil, whatever you want for your saging. It all works exactly the same. The tools of it are up to you. So basically, smudging and cleansing yourself is super, super easy. And it is vital that you do it to yourself before you do it to anybody else. That's really important. Like, you can't get somebody clean if you're still filthy. Makes sense. You want to start by setting your intention. Whatever the reason that you are lighting the incense is going to give you the intention. And it's also going to tell you what tools you want to use. So if you want to clean the space because you're going to go to bed, or you want to have prosperity, whatever. So all of this stuff is going to give you information about what your intention is and what tools you're going to use to bring that energy into the space. Light those herbs or incense on fire. Most of the time, this requires letting the thing burn for a minute so that it can be fully lit, and that means sticking it under the flame. You don't want to stick it all the way in the flame. You want to have it just above so that it can actually catch fire. It has to catch it. There we go. Okay, so this is the act of smoldering it, where you let it burn for a second. And if you're real slick like me and you're daring, you do this without tongs, you can turn it up and let that flame kind of dance up whatever it is that you're burning so that it can catch more light. You want to do this for a minute before you blow it out. This is where the smoke is going to come from. And you want to move it around your body in a circular motion as much as you can, and you want to make sure that every part of you is touched by this smoke. Every single part of you needs to be touched by this smoke. Every single part of you. Lighting a smudge stick with sage is pretty common. If you're going to choose to do that, and it's very convenient too, so I don't blame you, as opposed to using brown herbs. I talk about that on my blog too. If you're going to use a smudge stick, like a sage smudge stick, I highly recommend that you get some kind of smudge pot that's naturally fireproof, like abalone, like this, or stone or soapstone, which are most incense burners are made out of. Do not use wood. Do not use metal. Wood is going to burn, metal is going to get very hot, and it could damage things that you set it on. So you want it to be naturally fireproof. Now you will notice as you are smudging that there will be things floating in the air. This is not bad. Smudging, burning any kind of thing actually sticks to particulates in the air and makes them visible and pulls them down. So you have no idea. You could be pulling hair, bacteria, all kinds of stuff out of the air by burning this. It's really good. The reason I like Palo Santo, not only because it smells so good, but because it's super, super convenient. With other things, I really have to be careful about embers, and I have to fan the smoke and make sure it gets all these places. I can still fan the Palo Santo and make sure it gets up in those high corners, which is very important when you're cleansing a space. But I like that I really don't have to worry about fire or things like that happening here. And when you're done, you can easily put this boop inside of a mug, and it goes out and you're perfectly golden. Palo Santo is my favorite, and it's energetic bleach. You know, when you're using these incenses and resins, you really got to know what they're going to be used for, and Palo Santo is a pretty safe bet that you're going to be clean. It's clean energy. Remember that you can use any other tool, including crystals, rattles, bells, drums, all of which I discuss on my blog post, to assist in your smudging. And of course, if you need any help or you'd like to schedule a home blessing yourself, appointments are always available, and it is super easy to contact me. Email, social media, Instagram, Facebook, witchdoctoraspen.com. I am here to help. Everyone have a fantastic, blessed, and smudging, cleansing day. Mwah!